Okay, welcome to this chat. Miss Elizabeth Parirenyatwa, can you please give us a background of yourself? Who are you and what exactly you are pushing for?
Thank you so much, Studio 263 Chat. I am Elizabeth Parirenyatwa. I am Zimbabwe. I am Africa. And today, I'm looking at how much black people are suffering in Zimbabwe and in Africa. I know that we're in the era of the pandemic of COVID-19, but we've got an extraordinary situation in Zimbabwe because of the fact that black people have been suffering in Zimbabwe already. People have been going without even a meal per day way before the pandemic started. And right now, when people were not even affording to get a meal per day in Zimbabwe, just imagine when we've got a situation whereby people are not even going to work, how are they earning a living right now? I am not lobbying. I'm not about color, whether green, black, yellow, white. But I cannot lobby for white people because I'm not seeing a white person who's not going without a meal in Zimbabwe. I'm lobbying for the masses, for the general public, for the masses of Zimbabwe, because I'm seeing that they are the ones that are suffering the most. I'm seeing black people going through the worst case scenarios right now in Zimbabwe, and I'm saying today, why are black people suffering? What have we done that makes us suffer so much? We've got a country that is full of wildlife reserves, mineral reserves. We've got diamonds, we've got platinum, we've got uranium, we've got lithium in Goromonzi, but yet black people are suffering. Why is that? And that's what I'm lobbying for, human rights, people's rights. People need shelter, people need food, people need security.
Yeah, you said you were once in the prisons, at this Zimbabwe prison services. Maybe if you can take us back to that moment when you were there. What really drive you to leave the job and come to activism?
I got the opportunity to train as a prison officer. It's actually an opportunity for me. My mother got to know that there's an intake to join Zimbabwe Prison Service, and I believe this has built me to become an activist, to become what I am today. Because when I was carrying that AK-47 and I was training, and everything that I went through whilst I was training, it made me realize that the people that went through the armed struggle, they really struggled so hard for Zimbabwe to attain its independence, for us to even have a flag to talk about. They had gone through the worst case scenarios. They left schools, some of them at the age of 13. They wanted to make sure that the children of Zimbabwe, the masses, have the right to water and sanitation, proper medical facilities, education. We're talking of shelter. We're talking of just having the right to even our own land, because that's exactly what they were fighting for. So the fact that when I went to train to become a prison officer, it had a driving force in my spirit. It stirred up my spirit so much that after training, I just had to end up leaving and become an activist for human rights.
So in your push maybe or in your journey to try to fight for a better Zimbabwe, are you working with other political parties or other movements who also share the same objective as well?
As I've been growing, I was born in Highfields. Highfields is a hub, is an activist hub. In its nature, it just grows activists. I just used to stay across the Gwanzura Stadium. So every rally that Zanu-PF used to have, I just used to go when I was a very tender age, probably at the age of 8, 9. I just used to go to the rallies and see how they would go about it. Right now, I'm not aligned, neither am I aligned to any political party, Zanu-PF, nor any other political party, MDC, or any other political party that is actively doing what they're doing. I believe that when they were fighting in the armed struggle, they were not linked to any political party per se. They were on a drive to ensure that the children of the Republic of Zimbabwe are free. And that shouldn't be determined by any political party whatsoever. Yes, maybe in the future, we might end up, birds of the same feather flock together. If there is a certain group of birds that are flocking and they feather the same feathers with me, then yes, I can become aligned to them, or they can become aligned to me. I would appreciate that one.
Okay. You've touched on a range of issues, both social and economic. What do you think is the solution for Zimbabwe right now, going forward, politically?
The problem of Zimbabwe is political. We've got a situation whereby, I'll give you an example of a father who has got a home. This father has got his own home and he's got his own business. Then thugs come to the home. They tie up the father in the pantry. And then they start saying, I'm not the father of the home and the owner of the business, when they are not. But the children know that this thug is not the father. The father is locked up in the pantry. After a period of time, the father dies. But that thug keeps on saying that he's the father of the what? Of the family and the owner of the business, but he is not. The group of the thugs, they are not the owners. The illegitimacy of this government is the main problem. No matter you might try to put domestos, you try to put certain chemicals, try to put certain systems and means and ways to clarify or to cleanse an illegitimate government, it still is an illegitimate government. There's nothing that can change on that one. So if you have gone to elections with an illegitimate government to try to legitimize something that is illegitimate and illegal, it still is illegal. Therefore, the political situation in Zimbabwe, we need to have a situation whereby Zimbabwe works with the constitution. And what does the constitution say? We need all, imagine having a country that is full of learned judges, doctors that are qualified to treat people. The learned judges, they cannot even move. It's tight. The doctors cannot even treat, there's no medication, the hospitals are closed. Not to talk of any other fraternity. All the fraternities, all the sectors in Zimbabwe, they are locked down. Not by COVID-19, by an illegitimate government that is illegitimately doing bad things to people. And that has to stop. It just has to stop. This is the time now for it to stop, because now it's affecting the socio-economic, political framework of Zimbabwe. And not just for Zimbabwe, for Africa.
Okay, so how do you think we can rectify this illegitimacy problem?
I would feel that when you've illegally done something, you need to say, I'm sorry. I'm a former prison officer. I've seen people in prison. They ask for forgiveness. They ask for forgiveness for the bad things that they've done. When they've asked for forgiveness, people can always forgive. You know what? It's time that those that have taken the country where it is, I will quote Chief Justice of South Africa, his name is Mohan. Chief Justice Mohan said, If I am to die, I will die for my people. And when I say my people, I mean the children of his own country. And today, as I quote what the Chief Justice of South Africa has said, I, Elizabeth Mucheche Parirenyatwa, I'm taking his quotation to become my own. I, Elizabeth Mucheche Parirenyatwa, if I am to die, I will die for the children of the Republic of Zimbabwe, so that I see them live. We need to make sure that people in rural areas, they can fend their own living. We need to ensure that the children, by the time the COVID-19 pandemic, we've rectified everything, they can go to schools where there are teachers and there are books. We need to ensure that a pregnant woman who is about to deliver a future president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, there is water and there is sanitation and there is preparation for that baby who is coming out to where? Is there shelter for them? We need to ensure that there is everything in place for those Zimbabweans. So if we're going to die, we will die for what we believe in. We believe in Zimbabwe. We believe in, this is what Anamulilo, Anambuyanyahanda, Anasekuru Kagui, Anachaminyuka, they were fighting for. Anakombre Tongogara, they were fighting for this. For what? For the children of Zimbabwe to be free. From who? From suppression. Right now people, you have to have a letter. It's like ANC Smith regime. You have to have a letter for you to travel from point A to point B. So are we back to where we were or even worse? So if we're back to where we were and even worse, before I was born, I'm born 1979, people were restricted. Are we back there? If we're back there, then we're going to fight. And I'm not carrying any weapons today. I'm not carrying any weapons. I'm not a violent person. But I am saying that Zimbabweans should be free. I am saying Zimbabweans should be free. Rise up, Zimbabwe, rise up. Against police brutality, rise up. Against any form of brutality, rise up. Speak out. Tiswana Shumba Nyamziwa, no Reka Arukutaura. Kuti Zimbabwe should rise up. I'm of the tribe of Judah. And do you know Shumba Nyamziwa? Do you know the Lion of Judah? Yachona Yoyo. So we are speaking and we are saying family, rise up Zimbabwe. It's time for Zimbabwe to be independent.
Okay, let's go back to the leadership crisis which you mentioned. We see that in the past election there were more than 20 candidates. Who among them, or do you have any candidate in particular whom you think you can trust to be the appropriate leader for you right now?
As I gave you an example, I said a certain father is tied up, he's got a business, he's got his own home. Thugs come to the house. They put him in a pantry, they lock him up in a pantry. If there is anything, anybody else, even a worker in a shop who might claim that they might want to run the shop or the home, we're saying illegal is illegal, illegitimate is illegitimate. So we need to go back to the status quo. We need to go back to point 1 or point 0 and start talking, what are we saying here? Because we're saying a group of thugs have come and attacked the father.
Yeah, I understand you. But
so the only way
is a certain person who you really think is the person to move Zimbabwe forward.
What I believe right now is we need to go back to the status quo and also understand that if there's a lot of irregularities and illegality in whatever that we have right now, it means that everything else is a ripple effect of illegality and illegitimacy. So we need to go back to point 0 and start finding out how we can go about it so that if we end up having even elections, we have legitimate elections that are governed by the Constitution. Because we're seeing a founding father who is illegitimately removed. We didn't even see his resignation letter. I personally didn't see the resignation letter that His Excellency President Robert Mugabe signed by himself. I'm yet to see it.
Okay, so
that he handed over to Comrade Mudenda. So I'm just trying to figure out if he said that he's resigned from power. We need to see it because I just saw him saying he went basa guru guru kwajo. Asante Sana.
Now that,
So now
that the former president is late, and you say we have to go back to choose another president, would you run maybe yourself? Because I see you're not really giving me a specific person. Would you go for it?
I would say leadership is chosen by God. When David was coming from Kumafuru to kill Goliath, he was chosen in the house of Jesse, anointed by prophet Samuel. Samuel mwana wa Hannah itaza kuita pambili. If God chooses what he has chosen, no one, absolutely nobody, can remove something that God has put in place. So what I can say is Zimbabweans have got a right to really choose what they really want. I cannot say it cannot be me. Neither can I impose on people, let it be me.
No, I mean, would you run for president given the opportunity?
Yes, I would run for presidency given the opportunity to fight for the liberation of the children of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Okay, in that case then, what is your, should I say, what is your template or your blueprint given, maybe if you were to give you this country to run today? Where are the major, or which are the major points which you are going to handle first?
The first thing that Zimbabwe needs, because a human being, the largest part of a human being involves something that is called water. We'll first talk of water and sanitation before we talk of anything. Then we talk of health and child care. Because right now, as we are speaking, they say there's a ministry of health and child care. I say it's a ministry of sickness and child carelessness. So the most important thing is health and child care.
How are we going to handle it?
Zimbabwe has got its own mineral reserves, wildlife reserves. It's all by itself, it's capable of running without aid. But if you run down a country, you get a situation whereby you blame sanctions, you blame certain sectors, you blame certain countries. Do you know that Zimbabwe has got reserves of minerals that therefore it's capable of running its own economy easily? In a space of few months, Zimbabwe can be that. People want to come to invest in Zimbabwe. Let's say give you 1 billion. But do you know that we've got our own minerals reserves that if we just mine a small portion, we'll end up having over $100 billion. So those people, they will come seeming like they want to assist us. When they know what we're all about, we've got our own strength, but we're being inhibited by a group of people that are squandering as leaders when they're...
Okay, yeah. We're running against time. Okay, maybe the final question. We know that on the 31st of July, there's a planned demonstration against corruption, against all these vices you've been talking about. Are you going to take part in this? Or do you believe in whatever they are marching against?
I'm born Zimbabwean, and I've done Shona as one of my subjects in primary school. And they've talked of Bembera. Bembera means to stand on top of an anthill, to speak out when something is wrong in a village or in a community. Meaning that the people of Zimbabwe, before, they were so free to speak out how they feel when things go wrong. I believe that Zimbabwe, when it was being formed by God, it was given that gift of Bembera, of speaking out how they feel. I don't know how the current leadership in government, how they feel about Bembera. Protests are like saying Bembera. It's one and the same thing, it's just that protests in English, Bembera in Shona. I believe that people should have freedom to speak out how they feel. When things are wrong, things are wrong. Let them speak out how they feel. How do you lead people that you don't know how they feel about something? You need to know how they feel. In Germany, I've had a group of people that have told me they protest for anything. Even when things they are okay, they even protest. So I believe that people should be free to speak out how they feel. What I actually know that I also want to know before is to ensure, because I've seen that sometimes when people protest, women are greatly attacked. As we advocate for human rights and for women's rights, in the next, I'm hoping when the pandemic, the regulations have been loosened a bit, as women we're going to train each and every woman in Zimbabwe martial arts, so that those so-called soldiers that come and rape women, and they are so-called that come, because sometimes I've heard that they'll be wearing the regalia of army, and then they rape women. Watch out for us. We are coming to get you. By the time you're coming and you're saying you're raping a woman, whilst in the guise of where we are trying to put sanity into something, we're going to deal with you. Yes.
So in short, yeah, taking part. Yes or no?
I haven't really heard so much. Let me inquire further, then I'll let you know.
It's okay. Thank you so much, Miss Elizabeth from Cheche Parirenyatwa.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.